Okay, welcome to the Killer Radio Show on riverwestradio.com. I'm Ryan Mason here with Eric Thorson. Say hi.
What's up?
And Jason Hillman.
Jason Hillman, right here with you.
You're hearing the musical stylings of the Blue Diamond Band and Nato Coles. This might actually be one of his older bands, but yeah, we had a little late start there. I know you can usually count on us to be right on time.
Yeah.
Especially Jason.
What are you going to do with those 5 minutes?
So welcome to the show. We come here every Tuesday night.
Happy 9/11.
Happy
9/11.
Yeah, it's 9/11. We're here with you.
Yeah.
I know, it was
Holding
like
you tight through the night.
I was like, I don't know if I'm doing anything patriotic today. And then I started watching the USA soccer game. And I was like, I guess this is enough now, right? Like, you know, 11 years removed, I can just watch a soccer game. That's.
I feel like we've gotten to the point where it's passed too soon. Like it's
Yeah,
just
like
soon
it's
enough.
kind of.
Like we're there. We've
Yeah,
gotten
we're there.
over it.
Yeah, it's not Pearl Harbor
We
Day.
can see other tragedies now.
Yeah. I don't know. We're not really going to talk about 9/11 all day.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a lot to talk about on that subject.
Yeah.
We're all Midwesterners who, you know, everybody has their story about that day. I don't want to get into that. Because I think those are boring by this point. Like, everybody's told their story of, like, where they were and, like, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if you want to, you can call into the show and drive us off track from what we're trying to do and say something not funny. 414-935-2951. Make sure you tweet the show at Cast of Killers, #KillerRadio.
Your best hacky 9/11 joke.
Yeah, please.
What's the worst you can possibly muster?
Yeah. Do you even think, like, does anybody even do 9/11 jokes anymore? Like, on stage anymore?
Constantly, actually. I'm pretty sure Ryan Lowe wrote a brilliant 9/11 joke.
Oh, okay.
Still.
I just think that
Ryan Holman has one too.
that's like an audience killer sometimes, is like you think that it's going to work, but it won't, you know?
Yeah.
I think it all depends on context. Ryan Lowe's was great.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're
Yeah,
not.
funny is funny.
I guess I'm saying they're risky.
Funny
They're
is funny.
really risky.
Yeah. It's a good way to alienate
Regardless.
an audience.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a Holocaust. You can make anything funny if you're good at it, basically.
True.
And you shouldn't.
And if you're bad at it, you can make it really uncomfortable
Yeah, if
for
you're-
everyone involved.
You're already a terrible comedian, and you see this tragedy happen, and you think this is going to be what's going to win
Goldmine.
the audience over.
Yeah.
Right, goldmine. Like, oh, how can I exploit this for all it's worth? And then you go up there
Yeah,
and you
if
make-
that's the attitude you're taking, though, you're never going to be funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're just like, I'm going to exploit this and wring the
Yeah.
daylights out of it. Like, if you're coming from a really mean place, I think it's harder to be funny. But I guess you could be a mean comic. You could be...
I'm not trying to take really horrible things. I mean, that's basically their goal, to take horrible things and kind of shed a little bit of humor on it. But
that's fine.
That's how we deal with things.
Yeah, so
But-
you're saying more from a catharsis point.
Exactly. I want it, like, something like that can be therapeutic which is different than the guy that goes up there and is like, all those people jumping, and then because of the flames, 9/11.
Yeah, like, I've seen that before, and it's like the worst thing ever. You just want to be like, I know you're trying to make a joke and you want to make people laugh, which is a positive thing, but like, you're just doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're doing it wrong.
Plain doing it.
Yeah.
You're failing at what you.
So that's our stance on it. You can make jokes about 9/11.
Although I
That's
did like the
fine.
conversation topic you brought up before, which was, what were you listening to then?
Right now or before? Oh, what we were talking about before is, you know, like, I was just thinking about, you know, 2001 is such a, it's ingrained with 9/11, like the year 2001. But like, I like to think, like, before 9/11, in 2001, and maybe, you know, after too, like, what was your life like, you know, in 2001? That was 11 years ago. What kind of music were you into?
Weird. Yeah, no, in the timeline in my brain, lots of stuff happened in 2001 actually, but the only thing I can possibly think of when that day comes.
Almost 9 months of things happened in 2001.
Lots of things happened, yeah. That's all I can think about is in 2000. So,
Well, what kind of music do you think you were into in 2001?
I liked, oh shit, new metal.
No swearing. That's swear jar. We're gonna be vigilant tonight on the swear jar.
Yeah, I think there was a count of like 2 or 3 F-bombs.
Yeah, we need to be better at that.
It's not cool, guys.
Angry stuff.
You were listening
A
to
lot of
angry stuff.
like melodic, but
Was
like,
Korn still around? Were you listening
I
to
didn't
Korn?
like Korn though. I got over Korn pretty quick. Mostly like
I didn't.
Isis. Like,
Ooh,
doom metal.
If you're listening to this in headphones, it's worse.
My mom didn't like me.
That's everyone's impression of Korn, by the way.
Mom.
That was a
That
whole.
was the theme for the entire like 98 to 2002 was just someone's bad moms. everyone's
I feel like you're projecting. There could have been bad dads.
But they never talked about them.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's an entire song on that Disturbed album, and I'm very sorry that I know this, but I only know this for your own good. There's like an entire song where he screams at his mom.
Really?
And then like, yeah. I hate you, you stupid
There's some
selfish bitch.
there's some subject matter within some of those Korn albums too that's just like like not fun.
But
like,
their music is so hilarious that to try and like find catharsis through that kind of music that like Carnival Dirge
oh, people did.
I know.
They still have fans.
by the truckload.
They could sell out the Bradley Center.
I'm not gonna lie, I own Follow the Leader, but
Don't lie about it. Don't.
I did
Life
not
is
own
Peachy was better.
Life is Peachy.
Please tweet your favorite Korn albums in. I want to know. Were you a Follow the Leader? Life is Peachy? What's the other one?
Do you know why I hate
What's the one with the little
because I
doll?
follow
Yeah.
That's Life is Peachy?
I don't know.
the one with the what?
The little doll on the cover.
That's Issues.
Issue.
Oh, that's Issues?
Yes. Yep.
Man, they went from Life is Peachy, Follow the Leader, and Issues. Wow, they were like very...
Angsty.
Yeah, and they were like on the nose. They're like, let's make this title of our album. It's directed towards angsty teenagers, and let's make the title of the album so on the nose that they can't miss it.
They
Like,
look great on a T-shirt that someone's going to be told not to wear to school, but they will anyways because they're rebellious.
That's
and they don't
right,
like
they
that.
are.
Make sure it has a parental advisory so they know to buy it.
Yeah.
So like, oh,
Yeah.
this is the good stuff.
yeah.
I started hating
Not
them because
like
I'll
this one.
Follow the Leader. The first 12 tracks are silence because they just thought
Really?
that would be funny.
Really?
I thought, you guys aren't funny, you're dicks. And so,
That is a pre-MP3 joke to play on your fans if I've ever heard one.
right?
Yeah,
I love going back and listening to those first 12 tracks on iTunes. That
The
would.
hubris on you, you dreadlocked, angry. You,
yeah, it was dreadlock.
Now they're making you angry. That's not what they're here to do. They're here to like
Make me feel
build
better.
solidarity, you know. So Korn, I guess Korn and that kind of music is, you know, I would say like that kind of music is very pre 9/11, like the angsty teenager, like because 9/11 happened, it was like, okay, you can be an angsty teenager, like that's fine, and there's music out there for you, but like get over yourself a little bit. Like I think well, at least for me, like 2001 was a very like get over yourself moment for a lot of people.
You mean, yeah, when we got along for like 3 months.
Yeah, it was like get over yourself, like you're not as important, you know, like
Yeah.
and
Quit whining. It's not so bad.
learning that attitude for
We should have
myself.
burned down all Hot Topics at that point. That should,
Well, I can say I know I'm breaking my own rule, but when I did find out, I had just gotten kicked out of class for being a jerk in school, and I got sent to the principal's office. Like, I know that sounds very 1950s, sent to the principal's office, but I was from a small town.
That's okay.
And they told me when I got to the office, and they're like, just go home. And I was like, okay. And then, like, from that moment, I was just like, you know what, like, I'm a little more insignificant now. You know what I mean? Like, that helped me in a way. So it's all about me, is what I'm saying. And
9/11 changed your life, and that's all that really matters.
no, it just made me
all of that
understand.
happened just so.
It just made me understand that, like, like maybe that's what it takes for me to
9/11
evolve.
was the sound of thunder.
A life-changing event for millions of people. But yeah.
Somewhere in India, a butterfly flapped its wings. 9/11 happened, and you evolved.
Yep. That was, I think that's what I learned, though, is that I needed to stop caring as much about my stuff.
Right.
Because my teenage high school business was not business at all to anybody. Either way.
These things matter.
But I was listening to, what was I listening to? I was not listening to Crazy Town, even though that was
Can we
very
all
popular.
establish that nobody in here was actively listening to Crazy?
We weren't actively listening to it.
Radio.
It was everywhere, though.
Everywhere. Yeah.
That was the somebody that you used to
Was
know.
Eve 6?
Okay.
Was that 2001-ish?
No way.
Do.
Time to the bedpost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think that was. I don't think I was listening to that.
On the something the rind.
And please enjoy all of our nonsensical, unworded impressions of
What's weird is that that's-
early millennial songs tonight.
That's an interesting, like, you know.
A little
now
bit
that
of
you're getting
Rita,
old.
bang, bang, bang.
You know you're getting old now because all those songs, instead of like being fresh and like you can recall them, all of a sudden you're like, that one song.
Yeah.
Step back from that ledge, my friend.
Yeah. Power Man 5000. Is that what you're talking about?
Power Man 6.
I think I remember listening to a lot of Everclear in 2000.
Oh, all right.
Listen to Everclear.
Santa Monica, because that would have just made it to Marinette by 2001. Even though it came out in '99,
Yeah.
it was just Santa Monica made its way to Marinette.
Yep.
And you could really relate to their Southern California stylings.
That was a band that was all about their dad.
Yeah, I think so. Well, yeah,
then
I
he
mean, it's
made
like
it all up.
explicit in their songs,
Yeah.
right?
But he did. It was later he found out. Yeah.
We didn't
None of
find
it was
out. He
true.
became so irrelevant that he was so desperate for attention. Hey, where were you guys listening
Yeah,
to on
and
9/11?
he bleached his hair and like he was so cool.
Jason,
Power chords.
they can't hear us.
I know. I don't know why I said that.
They can't see us. The people in the airwaves. Not the airwaves.
I was yelling at old
The
people
pod
just
waves.
to clarify what that outburst was about. Guy from Everclear's a liar. That's all.
Was he? So he made all that up?
Yeah,
That was the story?
Because there's that one song where it's just like, Daddy gave me a name.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's all not a true story.
Well, does it have to be?
Well, no, but
Well,
the
no.
weird thing was he sold it as that. And he
Oh,
sold
he
it
did, like, in
as that.
interviews and stuff?
He was like a James Frey-esque kind of thing where.
Good
but
pull.
then he became
That's
so,
a good pull for Jason right there. Because sometimes you forget, but that's good. No, go on Oprah. Right. He came on Oprah and lied to people. The guy from-
Yeah. No. Although the thing is, the guy. What was his name? What was his name?
Art Alexakis.
That guy.
Alexicus.
He became so irrelevant.
It
that he was
cannot
so
be how that's
desperate.
pronounced.
I think it's Alexikas, isn't
Art
it?
Alexakis? Art Alexakis.
Alex
Yeah,
something
Nutsack.
like that.
Alex
Al-
Nutsack.
Alkanakis.
Yeah.
I think
yes.
this is it.
Here's my funny Everclear story.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
Lay it on me, bro.
I went to see.
Where were you when Everclear happened?
That's to clarify is Steve Breeze in the background there.
Steve Breeze and his creepy laugh is hanging out. Steve Breeze looked like Everclear. He was at the Everclear Ground Zero. Just by the way he dressed us. No, tell us your funny story.
I went to see them in concert in Michigan because I heard that.
UP?
Yep, UP. Yep, Upper Peninsula.
Because you should clarify, because that's not actually Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. No, it is. It isn't true. I love the UP. But, or it is true because it is Michigan. Whatever. I saw
Do you
Everclear.
disagree with everything Ryan says?
Yeah.
No. Yes. Definitely.
Tell your story.
I was going to see them in concert, and Bad Religion was supposed to be opening for them.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
I'm sorry. Can we back that train up a second? Bad Religion was opening for Everclear?
Yeah, that was, yeah.
That hurts my feelers. Anyways, go ahead.
I mean, Bad Religion, they were cool, like, pre-2001. Like,
But
this
they
was
were
probably
never as popular though, right?
Fair
think
enough,
that-
but they've had more of an impact.
Yeah, they're a better band for sure.
Well, yeah.
But that's one of the reasons I was going. I was
Yeah.
like, Everclear, Bad Religion, it sounds awesome.
Totally.
Bad Religion canceled, and in 2001,
They know it's good for them.
Nickelback opened up for Everclear, and I was there.
Really? What?
So that was
You've
your
never
time.
mentioned that you've seen Nickelback in concert until now.
I waited for the airwaves.
That's a better question. Where were you when Nickelback happened?
Wait,
No, and
so
they played that one song that's all over the radio now.
what the hell is on Joey's head? Why were our eyes so
Every
red?
song they've ever played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically the same
And I was like,
chord
this
structure.
isn't that good. This is pretty
You're
terrible.
like, someday this guy's gonna marry the girl that married the Sum 41 guy.
She was starting to get popular then. Wasn't Avril Lavigne pretty big in 2001?
Yes, yeah.
Skater by.
I think that would have been. I don't know if that's true. Like, you're right around the time
Yeah.
it was.
It's really
Yeah.
pinpoint.
If you know
nailed
this,
down
if
Avril
you
Lavigne.
know this, the answer to this, please tell us. I feel like our friend Daily Doodle would know the answer to that question. Like without, that's like right in his wheelhouse. He's like, oh, what year did Avril become famous? This year. Like he would know that off the back of his hand. Yeah. So you saw Nickelback open for Everclear.
Saw a
And
young,
UP.
scrappy, raw Nickelback.
They still sucked.
Were they like even famous at the time, or
No.
No,
So
that
they
was they didn't become
2001.
popular
They didn't
until like
become
2006.
6 or 7, yeah. So this was 2001.
Wow.
I saw Nickelback.
So you didn't know like who they were,
Nothing
any of their
about it. I was
songs.
disappointed because like, well, they're not Bad Religion. This sucks. And I was like, these guys are, and they were like super Canadian too. You could totally like they said a bunch of, I don't know, Canadians.
Posers.
Canadian stuff. Tell me an example of Canadian stuff.
We just talked
This is
about
our next
hockey.
song, eh?
Look out for Moose.
This is our song, Moose.
So that was the birth of your hatred for Nickelback. I'm glad that you got in early on the hating Nickelback
So
thing. Like
you-
you can say that you were on the ground floor of disliking Nickelback.
Yeah.
Like
You're
that's
a
the
Nickel
positive.
hipster. You're a Nickelback hipster.
Yeah. You're like, I know that everybody hates him now.
Yeah.
You should definitely make that into a T-shirt.
That's awesome. Good for you.
I hated
like that.
Nickelback before it was cool.
Steve, tell us some 2001 facts. You go to the wiki page for the year 2001.
Were
Tell
you
us.
in middle school?
Tell us like who.
I was in 8th grade.
You were in
Tell us who
eighth
like.
grade, Steve?
8th grade.
Tell us like who won the.
I'm done. I'm done with life.
I'm super loud right now. Tell us who won like the Oscars and stuff, and we'll talk about that too. If you have.
Music, we do VMAs.
Oh yeah, who was at the VMAs in 2001? Did you guys watch?
Sophomore. High school.
Did you guys watch the VMAs, the most recent ones?
No, I used to watch the VMAs back in the 90s, and then I don't know if they were always like a soul reaping, torturous exercise in pop culture splooging, but
Can we say splooching?
I think we can say splooge.
Okay.
I'm
all
right on the line. You're
You
right.
were
I'm
right on
edgy.
the line.
I'm
You
so
were
edgy, so dangerous. Anyways, I don't know. I stopped watching MTV a long time ago. I can't imagine the clips I've seen from the shows now are just of music that I don't understand, and it displeases me.
I don't think I've seen
And
it.
pop culture now bothers me, so it's not even my culture anymore. My culture.
Okay, here's my rebuttal. I thought Rihanna was pretty cool. Is that good?
Yeah.
Is that good enough rebuttal for your
I like it. Yeah. Point.
I take it. Oh yeah, no, I totally take
point
it.
counterpoint?
I watched the Rihanna thing. She did the.
She was good, right? It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I love
like,
that song, though.
That
I'll
like
watch her.
yeah, like that's a great song.
Okay.
But
Did the boy band win all of the stuff this time?
yeah, like there's like I guess that's coming back and like kids vote for that stuff, so good for them. I don't know. Like well, you know that it's not for you. Like
Yeah, exactly.
It's like even if you watch it and you're like, oh, this Rihanna thing is pretty cool, and like the visual of it was really interesting, and then you're like, oh, in the next 5 minutes they just remind you how old you are.
I have nothing.
They're like, here's 4 teenagers. They're gonna win something because 1 million people voted for them,
That I
and you don't know
nothing
anything
with.
about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The divide has never been more apparent than when I watched youth culture. So I try
Oh yeah, like all those kids that are in that group were born in the 90s. Like that's enough of a reminder that like you are
While
old.
I was watching Rocko's Modern Life in 1995, there was somebody being
You turn the page, you wash your hands. You turn the page, you wash your hands. That's my Rocko's Modern Life reference.
I love Rocko's Modern Life. Like still.
Is that on our list of talking points? It should be.
Yeah.
I mean,
it
Rocko's
should.
Can we just talk
Spunky?
heifer.
about Heifer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He takes him to Meatland.
Yeah.
I don't. What was this neighbor's name? The neighbor.
Oh my God.
With the fish face.
Big Head.
Big Ed.
Big head.
Big Head, and he worked for Mr. Big Head.
Yeah. Yep. Remember the one when he went to the DMV? That's one of my
Yes,
favorite
yeah.
ones. You and I watched the amusement park one recently.
Yes.
Yeah,
because they have Netflix
Yeah,
and
it's on
just for
Netflix.
kids now. That is amazing.
Oh, really?
Amazing.
Wait, is it just called like Netflix for kids?
Yeah.
And you
open
have it?
your-
Oh, okay. So it's on the website.
Yeah, there's a Netflix over here. No, like for the Xbox 360 one.
Right.
It says Netflix over here and then Netflix for kids. And the Netflix for kids is just a bunch of icons of every.
Oh, so like the interface is for kids and for
It's
like
so amazing.
stoned
It's
adults.
Animaniacs, exactly. Rocko's Modern Life, Ren and Stimpy.
There's just a
Alan
button on there for
Chicken,
ordering
Johnny
Pizza
Bravo.
Hut. Like, yep, I'm gonna do that. We're gonna watch Rocko's Modern Life, toppers. We're gonna get toppers and Chinese. Beep boop boop boop. That's how.
You never have to leave your couch, man.
That is true. Like the Netflix Instant is probably like that's a boon for couch stoners, right?
Yeah, it's kind
And
of
pizza.
terrible though because
And
I kind of miss. I miss going to a video store. I don't miss paying $5.
Yeah.
You're in one right now.
I know. And you know what happened the last
You're
like,
in one.
last month I rented movies here to watch them and I never found time to watch them and I got a late fee. I haven't rented a movie in almost a decade and I got a late fee on it.
Yeah, that just reminds me. If you're trying to reconnect, you know, with some form of nostalgia, like don't do it. Just
going
take
back and
advantage of
playing-
Netflix.
Yeah.
You know.
Going back and playing
But you
consoles.
should definitely come here and rent movies, though. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
Because they have things here that you would never be able to find.
That's true.
Oh,
That's true.
absolutely.
And you do get the experience of coming into a place, an actual place, and supporting an actual
Actually, I watched
business.
one of the best movies I've ever seen by renting.
Not to mention their extensive collection of adult movies
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could start on the collection of adult movies here and not reach the end of it until you were blue in the palms. I don't know.
Blue in the palm. There we go.
Until the cows come home.
Your cow comes home and demands that you sleep with her instead.
Yeah. So Rocco's Modern Life. Were you a Ren and Stimpy fan too?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That was completely inappropriate for children. That should have never been broadcast.
I thought it was scary.
It
Like
was
at one
scary.
point in my life, I thought it was scary. My brother was older, so he controlled what we watched.
How old were you when Ren and Stimpy was out?
I mean, I don't know the exact years, but that would have been like 95, wouldn't it?
94, 95.
Yeah, like I would have been really young, like 9 or 10.
I could, yeah, it was scary. It was frightening. It was also words that mean. The
I
same
mean, I
thing.
thought Stimpy was great. He was always really nice, but Ren was very hard to deal with.
Terrifying little
Yes.
man.
And there was so much.
Just so angry.
There was so much like despair. Was like part of that.
That was the
whole,
pilot of that show was despair. They ended up in the shelter, the animal shelter, where they were going to be put to sleep. Towards the end of that was the first episode of Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Like there was crying, and there was
how could
crying, and there was
could you
raining.
possibly get away with like all of the nipple jokes that they did nowadays?
Yeah,
like
they did a lot.
You couldn't do anything.
It was like
You couldn't show that to kids
95% nipple jokes. Like
Yeah.
Eating boogers, nipples, a
Yeah,
lot of.
snot and
yeah, a lot of like
poop.
bodily fluids.
Dude
Like,
was eating.
farting and stuff.
yeah.
Didn't he keep a collection of
Nose goblins.
Nose goblins, yeah.
Yeah.
And his kitty litter, he had some kind of collection.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally strange show, off the wall, inappropriate for a lot of those shows were inappropriate. Rocco's Modern Life was probably a little bit more adult than it was the demographic it was.
Yeah,
aimed
I
at.
think it looks tame next to Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Right? We have just alienated all female listeners, I think. I think we have officially, like...
Basically, what we're saying is, who wants to cuddle up with these?
They're like,
fine
talk
fellows and
about
watch it?
Jem. Just totally...
And
Bunheads.
She-Ra.
How about a Bunhead update?
I get Bunheads is in its off season, but it got picked up for a second season.
Oh,
Thank goodness ABC Family knows what's good for them. Butter my bread. Who knows what's
With
gonna happen?
cheese.
So I get to think all off season long. Off season. I call it off season. But Bunheads are in the off season,
Yeah.
hoping that trade deadline hits and they pick somebody up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that coming back. Yeah, well, let's, speaking of off-season, football just started again.
Yeah.
And I know millions of billions of people watch football. One of them not being Jason, but
I'll watch it if it's on in somebody's house. I like watching the big games, and I also don't like thinking about. I like the Packers to win. I really do because they're in the state I live in, and plus I like housewives to be able to breathe through their.
noses.
Yeah.
Right on. But like, okay, even if you're not a Packer fan, you should fake it. You should fake that
You
you're.
have to. You have to
'cause you'll get-
assimilate or die.
Yeah.
You need to go to all these people's houses and eat their appetizers. Like
One of us.
that's the perk, right?
Definitely.
Tim Higgins in the house.
Timmy and the Hizzy
Yeah.
right here. Tim Higgins is going to join us a little bit later. We're going to
Did you
talk
bring the
about.
Sword of Omens, Tim?
Heck yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
We're going to talk a little bit about the competition on rival radio station 88.9.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it right
Super
now.
huge rival.
Huge rivalry going
We
on
are
right
not
now.
even on the
Such a big
radar.
rival that they let me announce that I have a radio show on 88 or on riverwestradio.com.
Oh, you got a little
On the
radio
air.
show.
On
You're
the
just the
air.
cutest little thing.
But yeah, Tim and I are in the semifinal showdown online. You can vote for us, and we want you to go and listen to both clips and listen. And we'll tell you about that later, though. What are you singing? Oh, you lost by one vote. Jason was in the competition on Friday, and he lost by one vote.
It's cool. Damon Millard could have come out
Why
and
would they
supported me,
tell
but he
you
hates
that?
everything.
Can I
He
say
could
that?
have been the vote for me. It's cool. Why would they tell me that? Because they're
You need to watch your mouth. 'Cause
Yeah.
We're not going to
asterisk
this all night.
asterisk holes.
Did you ask?
No, she ran up and told me because I was sitting there looking.
Oh, don't tell. Like, if I lose by one vote, do not tell me that.
Jason, just wanted you to know you only lost by one vote. I know that sucks, but you had a really great set. But just one vote. Just
Crushed
one
your-
vote.
crushed your
I was
dream.
just counting them, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to tell them. You didn't have to actually.
Bridget and Dave put it on a great show. Like,
Yeah.
thanks to
They
them.
mean well.
But you know
Her
that, like,
boobs mean well.
when you tell a comic that they lost by one vote, it's immediately like
Heartbreaking.
Where were all of my friends? Is what comes to mind.
Yes, yeah. How could
Looks
it not
like,
be?
okay, all the COKs are hanging out with the rats. You could have, you son of a
All right, calm down, calm down. Be my butterfly, sugar, baby.
baby.
Yeah, so football season started. Eric, I know you watched football.
Yep.
So where were you for the Packer game?
At my house.
Yeah, just watching Packers with your friends.
I'll be back.
You still recovering? You're gonna excuse yourself during Packer talk?
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Well, yeah, I love football. I watch the Sunday games. I'll watch the Thursday game, Monday night games. Yeah.
Now that Jason's gone, can you believe he only lost by 1 vote?
I know. I feel bad.
It's like, were you there?
I wasn't there.
You could have voted for him.
I could have. Yeah. No, I wanted to, and then Sarah was like, "You're too drunk," so I couldn't.
Jokes before hoes, bro.
How many people? Let's just make the list of people that could have showed up for Jason. Okay.
Yeah. Steve was there.
Steve was not there.
I came.
Yeah.
let's.
Me and you would have went. Jason could have.
Jason probably would have won. Yeah.
I came late. See you later.
No, I'm sorry. That's if
If ifs and buts were
Yeah.
candy and nuts, it'd be Christmas all year long.
Exactly.
Are you-
I got a tweet. Can I read a tweet?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Debbie Lynn Mason tweets in, Ryan getting kicked out of high school was not a punishment for him, but for me. Whoa!
She makes it sound like I got kicked out of all high school. Like
Like spelled.
yeah, I didn't get permanently expelled. I got kicked out of school for a period of time though. That's what I did. Yeah, Eric's got another tweet coming in here.
Yeah, just read from me.
I can't read it that far. Sammy Arachar tweets in, he tagged you, Ryan Mason, and he says, "What's it like to be a loser, idiot?"
Sammy, what's Sammy's Twitter name?
Better hair than a personality.
At Sammy Arachar.
At Sammy Arachar? Okay, make sure you don't follow at Sammy Arachar. I know it helps if I say his Twitter name a bunch. Sammy's growing a pretty sweet mustache, by the way. I know that.
Well, he's losing all those points by talking smack.
I know. No, Sammy and I we're battling. We're battling it out. No, we're not. Although he said that he would invite me over for a Sunday dinner at his house, and I'm waiting.
Oh.
I'm waiting. Want to eat some of his mom's tamales. I mean that literally. So you watched the Packer game? You didn't enjoy it, I assume, like everybody?
Yeah, it sucked. Because they lost. It was a bad game anyways. And can we talk about the replacement refs? Let's do that really quick.
Yeah, sure. So if you're not a football fan or you're not a sports fan, it's still interesting. Like there are referees for NFL umpires, as they are called. Officials, whatever you want to call them. Yeah. But they're on strike, so they have these replacement refs who are from like Division II football, and they're terrible.
They are pretty bad.
Like they're the worst. They gave a team an extra timeout, which doesn't sound like an advantage, but like they did get an extra timeout. Like that's how do you lose track of that?
Left. Yeah.
And you see that in baseball sometimes where they forget how many strikes there are.
Yeah.
Like once every couple of years, a guy gets like 4 strikes, and like he still like gets out.
Yeah.
But they've just been so bad, and the games are so long too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they review every touchdown, so yeah, the game's so much longer. It's probably for all the ad space. That's why. We need another half hour with the commercials. So
we need to sell more of these buckets of chicken. People don't know this, but we fill the buckets before we sell them. We can't empty a bucket, then we're out of bucket. I can't imagine. I'm happy that football's back because I like watching it. I enjoy like sitting down and watching some football.
Yeah.
Although like
I'm a fantasy football guy too.
Football comes back and it takes me like 2 games that aren't the Packers before I'm totally don't care. Like like I'll watch the Packers, but like I cannot watch like some of the other games. I mean I can. My girlfriend would be like, "You watch everything," and she talks like that. You come into the room and you watch every game. I was like, whatever. I don't even know why I hang out with you with your crazy voice. What? How dare you? Carson Palmer! Like, yeah, whatever. But no, I like watching some of the other games. You're just like, what can possibly happen that's entertaining? I mean, the Robert Griffin game was interesting, the Washington Redskins, but I don't know. I wasn't really into a lot of the other things, except for when the refs were really terrible. Then I was like, this is the best. Yeah. They're gonna get killed when they get out of there. Did you think that maybe like when entire stadiums were booing at like the refs for clearly doing a bad job? You know, like in some games where it's just like, oh, it's a pass interference call, it's hard, and then like now it's like the refs are just like they're missing the like themes of the game, like they're missing how many timeouts you get and stuff. Like I really felt like some of those fans were gonna go nut job and just run out on the field.
Yeah, I mean, especially if the official costs them a game, and like that's not fair for anybody.
You know, for all of us who gamble much of our income on football,
right.
I mean that's a big deal.
Think of the housewives.
Think of the Housewives. Jason is a big fan of Housewives not getting punched.
Yeah.
Right? Punched. Yep. I'm miming to him outside. I'm great at miming. Why don't we take a short break and then we'll bring Tim Higgins on in a little bit here. Space the show out a little bit because I don't have as many topics as I'd like to. Although I am going to talk about my big dodgeball win.
Yeah.
In a
we can
little
talk about
bit.
Center Street Days because we did the comedy over there too.
Yeah, we'll talk about Center Street Days for a little bit.
Teaser.
That's called Teasing the Crowd.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Let me
theme song.
let me cue something up here and
Speaking of Daily Doodle, play the theme song.
the theme song. I'll play it when we come back on.
All right.
Here's a song by the Fatty Acids. This is called Memory Banks.
Cool.
to intercede.
We're back. Sorry for the long break, but we've got a special treat for you. Say hi, Tim.
Hi.
Tim
Special
Higgins.
treat.
Tim Higgins joining us right now.
A special treat.
Cosmic-
That's my
we're
new
talking
nickname.
Cosmic
The
Brownies.
special
Nice.
treat.
Yeah,
Tim
be the
Higgins is a funny mother jammer, and
Nice.
Tim and I are
do
competing
have
this
muffins.
week in the Milwaukee Midwest Comedy Competition.
That we are.
88.9 and 1111 presents. Thank you. Shout out to them. So right now, you can go online to radiomilwaukee.org and vote for us in this competition. And listen to some hilarious clips too, which is great.
Now, did you guys find the links easily,
When
or
people shared it on Facebook, I just clicked in clicked
Okay.
one right there. It was hard to find, like, if you look at the website.
Yeah.
If you just
Yeah, if you go
Yeah.
straight to radiomilwaukee.org, it's kind of difficult. So we'll post that on the Killer Radio Facebook page.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure that the link's out there for people to find. Because, like, I sent it in an email to, like, family.
I don't have a Twitter.
I sent
Twit.
I sent an email to, like, family to be like, hey, I'm in this, please vote. And, like, all the old people were like, I got to the website and I'm streaming some loud music right now. Like, oh, that's not it. You're doing it wrong.
Feel the years shaving away off my life.
What is Bright Eyes? Like, just a lot of that. I'm really into it. Like,
Is Tariq Moody a person? Or
I mean,
Or is he a mood?
the voting itself is like, I mean, you have to go. People have to go to the website to vote, and they have to listen to the clips. And I think that that's cool to get some press for a radio station that's really great. You
Yes.
know?
Yeah,
Hopefully, yeah, like I'm gonna take credit for that. Like, well, if this 88.9 takes off, you can thank Tim and I because we put it over
Yeah,
the
some
top.
hot clips on that. Hot clips this time around.
Yeah.
My first clip I wasn't that happy with.
No.
Because last time they're like, we're going to have everybody in the room
Yeah.
and laugh if you want to, but if don't force it.
Like immediate
Don't
invitation
force it.
for comics to like, okay, well, I'm not gonna laugh at that. It's
just shut up and let them do their thing.
supposed to be like an
So-
open mic. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's what it was. And then it turned into a lot of me going, to so
Well, it worked.
time, yeah.
It worked. Well, that was your secret, and if you didn't do that this time, well, good luck to you,
Yeah.
because that was what people were tuning in for. Was
Yes.
the ums and the ohs
damn it.
and the sweet, sweet whistles.
Sorry, I can't be consistent, people. I'm
What do
just
you
not
want? What do you want
consistent.
from us? So the winner of the competition, the voting that'll end on Friday, so make sure you vote, will be in a show at the Rosebud Theater in Wauwatosa for the finals of this competition. So
Yep.
even if
One
one
of
of us loses, which when I say if, when one of us will,
When, yes.
one of us will
One
lose.
of us will
won't be a tie.
go on.
What if it is a tie?
I asked that, and Bridget was just like, "I'll just pick one of you." I was like, "Oh, great."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Story that I got.
It won't end in a tie. I know it won't end.
No,
in a tie.
no,
wait,
no,
sorry,
no,
she's-
no,
I think she was just telling me that to be like, I don't know what the answer
Yeah.
is, but like, it won't be a tie.
That was the story that she gave me. That was that you and I were tied, and then some guy came up at the last minute and threw in a, oh, can I vote? And he voted, and then that was it.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
They didn't know how to do a tie. 'Cause
Who does?
even though I didn't have anybody there for me. I still managed to get enough votes to put me in.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
He's not better. He's not better.
Not at all. That was amazing.
You were amazing. You did have a really good set, and so did a lot of the other.
Jake Cornelli.
Everybody
Jake
had a good
Cornelli, super funny.
That was an amazing show. Everyone who went up was absolutely incredible.
Nick Ledesma's sister was
Yep.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who else was in the show?
That was a really methy White Stripes.
Who was in the show though? They were good. They were good. And we're gonna play some of their music.
I danced to the last song that they played. Nobody
yeah.
else was up there, so I went.
Of course, you were drunk and celebrating yourself, right?
I was like, nobody hung out with me.
Yeah, Tim and I had the novelty of going last.
Yep.
So like we were drunk. Like we were probably the drunkest, and let's just let it go to show other comics get drunker.
Yeah.
You need to get drunker.
It's a secret. Just get as drunk as you can and slur through your
Just get real
Because
drunk.
people find it adorable, and it's
Yeah.
like, he even went up there drunk.
He had 9 of those apple cinnamon shots, and he is over the moon right now.
What'd you drink?
But after the
Ryan.
show, well, what did you drink,
Yeah, what
Ryan?
were you drinking?
Yeah.
I was drinking gluten-free beer.
They
Mostly.
serve gluten-free beer?
Yeah.
Oh, they got the.
And I had the drink ticket, and the girl was like, she's like, oh, those aren't on the drink token. You can only get blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, I'm allergic to gluten. And she's like, oh, my God, me too. Here, you can have it. I was like, that's the first time that has ever worked.
You gotta use that.
I was like, so I got these gluten-free condoms. I don't know what to do with. I guess I'll eat them. So, no, that's not how that works at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get into it. I mean,
Get into it.
people
getting
got to
into it.
choose, Tim.
Yeah.
People have to choose between me and you, and they
Yeah.
have to say to themselves, who do I like more?
Yeah.
Who is funnier?
Better mustache.
Who did I go to high school with?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
maybe I once made out with at a party,
Whose
but
loins did I come from?
yeah. Who's my mom? Those people have to choose who to vote for. And
Yeah.
my mom may take a look at you and say, wish that would have worked
A lot
out.
of moms turn.
A lot of moms turn.
I have a lot of friends who end up liking their moms love me more than them.
They should though. They should, you know.
Yeah.
So let's give you a chance.
Alright.
I'll go first.
Oh, you'll go first.
Oh, he'll go.
Yeah.
He has to give me.
Democratic,
He's got to
Home field
let me hear.
advantage.
You know, I
How this
don't.
goes down.
I can't throw you out there, you know, without putting myself
Alright.
out there first. Because, you know, if there's anything that I am, it's diplomatic. And you probably want to vote for somebody who's diplomatic. I'm just saying.
Diplomatic.
All right, so I'm gonna
I'm
pick
thinking of the timer. What do you want?
I'm gonna pick a song, and I'm gonna do my best to give a campaign ad, a positive ad,
I'm voting for you.
voting for me. And I'll play some music under it too. I hope this works. I'm gonna mute everybody's mics too. What do you think about that? Okay, my music's gonna be kind of funky. Okay, let me just feel it a little bit. All right, you ready? Tell me when to go. Oh yeah. You might be looking at those 88.9 Radio Milwaukee voting records right now. You might be thinking to yourself, should I vote for Ryan Mason? Let me tell you one thing about that voting record. You're gonna want to actually do it. Vote for Ryan Mason for this comedy competition. He's gonna bring the funny, but even more than that, he's gonna bring soul. He's gonna go right up to that microphone and tell you a joke that you gonna laugh right in your bones. From your head to your toes. Vote for Ryan. 'Cause he's so funny. Get your vote on.
If either Romney or Barack drop one of those in the next 8 weeks.
I mean,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know.
Does Romney have that in him though? Like, you know what? Maybe.
yeah, you never know.
That'd be funny. Like right in October, he just pulls it out. Like, hey, America.
What kind of
I
music
just
do
want to
you?
lay you down and talk to you, baby. Let me just rub some lotion of freedom on you.
What kind of music do you want? And
Well, I can't do the same as you.
You gotta do it like
so.
corn.
I don't have corn.
Lying.
Let me.
Come on, guys. Just get off that one side just for a second. Vote for me, corn.
I don't have corn. Do you want pop music?
Thousands.
You get a minute.
Tim,
Ryan took
doing it all for the nookie.
Do you need pop music or do you
That's
want?
not corn.
Do you want indie music, pop music, punk music,
Oh, jeez,
electronic music? The band Love.
Dude, I don't know. Am I gonna hear this music?
Yeah,
as it
you
goes?
can.
Oh yeah, I would love to. Here, give me a couple.
Okay, we'll run a few through there.
I want to
Yeah.
listen to this.
Okay, all right. This is sort of like old protesty kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
All right, it's a test song. It's a test song.
All right.
Protest. All right, here we go.
Everybody's gotta live. I think you know the reason why.
You ever have the time of your life when you're just saying, damn, this is the time of my life. There's bugs in the air that aren't biting. You're in the water, you're holding your girl, and she just feels soft enough and slimy, but not enough to push away. And you hold her tight and you close her eyes and dream of other places that feel just like that. Well, if you vote for Tim Higgins in this stand-up competition by Friday this afternoon, I'll invite you to another place just like that. And it's called My Arms, folks. Welcome to My Arms. They're kind of hairy, but hey, it's getting to be fall time. So that means insulation. Now, I know that there's nothing better than just being held by somebody not strange. I can't promise you that, but I can promise you this. You'll be smiling when I do hug you and when I hold you. You'll feel safe. And just think about them bugs. And once again, your slimy but not too gross girlfriend underwater. Vote Tim Higgins. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
That was good.
that's gonna bring him home.
It's gonna bring him home.
Yeah.
That's gonna do it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jason.
We gotta do one negative ad though. We have to.
Yeah. Now, about ourselves.
No, you want to do it about? We could do it about ourselves.
Mudslinging, like.
Mudslinging? Oh, yeah, sure.
You want to do it about, or we could do it about ourselves. I'm fine with that.
I'm not saying Tim Higgins ties women to railroad tracks, but I'm saying I've seen
He
a guy
watches
with a
them
mustache
and-
do that.
He watches them do it, and he doesn't stop or call the authorities.
I'm gonna use the same song I used before, not, but one of the other ones. Okay.
So, you're gonna talk smack about you?
Should we do it like that? Just talk back about ourselves? I can do that.
Sure.
Let's do that.
Sure.
But
Keep
you have to
it
endorse
posy.
Yeah.
endorse the other guy at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And you gotta do your best me impersonation. Like, my name's Tim Higgins,
Okay,
and I
all right.
approve of this message.
Okay. Here we go. Imagine a world where Ryan Mason wins a comedy competition. People will be out in the streets setting themselves on fire. There'll probably be less brownies in the world. You like brownies. In this world where Ryan Mason wins a comedy competition, he never shuts up about it. Ever. Think about it. Do you want to talk to Ryan Mason after that? Probably not. You don't even want to talk to him much right now. 'Cause he's a dick. This message brought to you by Tim Higgins. Spot on! All right, give him the cans.
Oh my goodness.
Music is great for that.
All right. Was that your music? Yeah.
I know it's lame.
Something else. Or you do? Yeah. Not that. Sorry. Yeah, just your music.
All right, we're gonna get through this together.
Something a little more A little more uppity.
Okay, all right. You didn't like this super duper sultry R&B music?
Damn, is it was your lover? Kind of sounds like that. It has that
Like really uppity?
synthesis. Something with a little energy, because I'm gonna trade angry, like almost like taunting. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to get across.
When the cafe doors exploded.
Ted Leo? Too much
Yeah,
sound.
you know.
Too much vocals.
Reacted to
There should be a segment, Ryan. You should have a segment that's
Us, me picking out songs. It's a pretty good segment.
yeah.
I was coming.
Well, what's this one?
Now I'm coming to
Do you have other Ted Leo? Cause
Yeah.
Ted Leo.
Do you want it to be this poppy?
that almost seems happy.
You want it to be negative. Okay, more negative.
Yeah. The more on the negative, like,
Tim Higgins is a
chords.
diva.
yeah, come on, get it right.
I'm working on it.
Because if I
it.
just
And we can use songs like this because we are doing comedy over it. So don't worry about that.
yeah,
You copyright.
yeah. I'm just,
All the music on my iPod is super depressing, you guys. I'm working on it. How about?
sure, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This is the Midwest Beat,
All
friend
right.
of the show.
Hey, America, you know who cut in front of you on the freeway today? Tim Higgins. Do you know who spilt your coffee on purpose? Tim Higgins. Do you know who got the promotion because you worked your butt off all day, but still your boss said, nah? Tim Higgins. Tim Higgins is the cause of all your problems. Turn around, Tim Higgins. Now in front of you is a little more of a crack than before. Tim Higgins. I'm like causing plate tectonics. California, you've been getting earthquakes like often. Tim Higgins. Like I said, tectonics. Tim Higgins is a jerk. Don't vote for jerks. You're better than that. Look at you. You're wearing pants for crying out loud. Better than a jerk. Tim Higgins is a jerk. All that he deserves is a punch in the mush. I'm Ryan Mason, and I this is all right.
Well, I thought that was very diplomatic of both of us. I like it. All right, folks. Well, that should give
Did
you
you
the-
find it hard to talk negative about yourself?
me. No.
Yeah, no?
Was that not negative enough?
No. It
What are you
was
saying?
negative, but it's like I had a lot more fun being positive.
Yeah, I always
Negative,
do,
I
right?
was just like, oh, yeah. Huh? No, I'm one of those more whacked out jobs. It's like you ever see the ones that just look like an uncircumcised. You ever see that?
Yo
See
Gabba
that?
Gabba.
No, this is some bizarre, like, complete gibberish Japanese kids show.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Sure.
You can, yeah, just
I'm
look
gonna
up
agree.
creepy kids shows on YouTube. You can probably find it. But they look like
I hope that gives people the kind of the mustard they need to make their decision. But whatever they decide, somebody funny is going to go on to the
the
next level.
mustard they need.
The mustard they need? I don't know.
Everyone needs to
Listen.
catch up.
Nah, yeah.
So what else do you got going on, Tim? I know that we're in a show together on the 20th.
Yes,
That's pretty exciting, right?
that's always great.
That's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
What's it
I
called?
think
What's it called?
it's called the Comedy Stash.
Stash.
The Comedy
Perfect
Stash.
for you.
It's perfect for me. It can be taken many ways. But mostly
Every which way from
But
Sunday.
it's spelled like the Stash way because I have one.
Right on.
So
Not like the
I just
stash.
It's got
yeah.
a double meaning because it's like a stash, like you're
Stash?
like recording comedy, but you're also like got a mustache that's clever.
Ding.
Yeah, it should be good.
It wasn't my idea.
That'll be an exciting show.
Ryan Holman's idea.
I don't even think it was his idea.
What is
it
your
was-
idea?
My
idea
idea,
was-
my idea was like to have one at Comedy Sports, like to have
That's
the
a
show
good
at
idea.
Comedy Sports, and I was gonna name it like Higgins, because I wanted it to be after Tim, the improv musical, and so we could double bill it as Tim Higgins Thursday
That's
nights.
pretty good.
Yeah, but then again, then I'd sit back and think about it a little bit too much, and I'm like,
You're like,
oh, that's
am I being a dick?
yeah, I'm just making
Literally, both shows are just about me. Like,
exactly.
Well, the improvised musical, we've had Jacob Bach and Mary on the show, and they're great. And so
They're very cool
people should
people.
come out and go to both of those shows because you get a sweet discount if you go to the improvised musical and then come see our show. So
That's right.
And if that's not enough incentive, you can also see Tim and I in that. So that should be really fun.
And
Jason
Jason Hillman.
And Jason Hillman.
And Jason Hillman.
And Sammy RHR and
Sonny
Ryan Holman.
Yep.
All a lot of fun.
Beth
people.
Lewinsky.
And Beth Lewinsky, no relation.
Lewinsky. Oh, no, none at all.
I don't know her.
whatsoever.
Is she?
She's a comedy sports player. She
She's
writes.
hilarious.
She is very, very funny.
She's
good.
a genius when it comes to improv. It's
Right on.
almost- It's unnerving.
Well, I'm gonna be improvising like crazy that night.
Dude, you should.
I'll be dropping so much improv. I'd be like, boom, improv, boom.
But that's why we're.
I call it improving too, no
Oh,
matter
okay.
what.
Oh, all right. I dig that. Oh, the smirk just, it's like, you're pulling my leg. Ryan Mason's pulling my leg, everybody. Come on. Come on. But yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
I'm a tour guide at the Milwaukee Brewing Company.
You are?
Yes, I am.
How did you get that gig?
A kid that I went to high school with is in charge of tours. And I ran into him, and he's like, I was thinking about doing some stand-up. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let me take you to some place. And I think he did, like, one night at Rounding Third. But then he started working at...
Milwaukee Brewing Company.
yeah, then he started working there, so he got...
Were you looking for like your
I
jacket?
just heard him say, shut up. I was like,
Oh.
Shout out.
oh, shout out.
Shut
Shut up.
Shut up.
Oh, should I not say that?
Sometimes we just tell our guests to shut up.
Yeah,
Like,
Okay.
that's part
it's
of our,
for good radio
Yeah.
when I just like, hey,
Shut up.
quit talking, shut
Oh,
up. Yeah.
well, you got me. You
You ever
got
seen
me.
Punch Drunk Love? You ever seen
Uh-huh.
that movie?
Yeah.
With
Yep.
Seymour Hoffman, where he just yells at him to shut up
Yeah.
every time he calls him. Remember that
Shut
scene?
up. Yeah,
He's the
it-
mattress man.
Yeah, he's on the
Shut
phone.
up! Shut up! Shut! 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 Shut up! Shut up! It's great.
I'm sorry that
And Adam
you,
Sandler comes in.
you thought I told you to shut up. I
No,
apologize.
that's all right. That's all right. You
Hey,
do
Eric,
the show.
shut up.
Yeah. But there's that.
I appreciate you talking.
So when can people find you to do a tour?
Fridays and Saturdays usually.
Oh, right on.
I don't know what times I'll be doing the tours. They're billed, I guess, for lack of better terms, 4, 5, and 6 on Fridays, and then 2, 3, 4
On Saturdays.
Saturdays. But then at 5 they have a 2-hour social.
Matinee.
Social.
Oh, okay.
$10 to get a wristband, you get a glass, and you just
that's
get to
awesome.
sample beers for 2 hours.
Right on.
It's
That's
awesome,
a good deal.
man.
That is
It's
so
great.
cool.
Well, I wish I wasn't
the
allergic
tour
to
isn't
gluten.
that bad either, man. And it's like I make it fun.
As
Yeah,
you
make
do
it-
everything.
Yeah, aw.
You make life fun. You
Oh,
make
come on,
You
guys.
make love and fun. What is it? Who's saying that song? You make the love and I feel like that's Michael Jackson. You make the love and
You're
fun.
making.
You make
Not making that up. Not making that up. I don't know.
Blaming it on the king.
The king of pop.
King of pop.
So do you know much about beer?
I'm getting to know a lot about beer. Yeah.
Do you make
Like how
anything
you-
up when you don't know? Because you're an improv guy.
Yeah.
Or you have an
kinda.
improv background.
Well, basically, yeah. To be able to ramble on just about beer, if I just repeat, it's like this is malt. I'll tell you how to make malt like 4 times
Let
in
me
a row.
tell you where to get malt.
Yeah. And just stretch that bit out and then be like, anybody have questions? And then they raise their hands and I'm like, what is it? And most of the times I'm like, well, first of all, and then I back out right away. I'm like, we'll find somebody to answer that question.
Like homebrewers come and they ask you like,
Oh, yeah.
well, when I get it into the bottle, I need it to ferment at a certain rate, and there's no other
are
way to
all-
get there.
They are all like that too.
I feel the
No,
caramelization of these.
It's fun. It's fun. It's actually to talk about what yeast do to yeast. What yeast do?
Yeast.
Does?
I think it's yeast.
Yeah.
When all the yeast.
Actually, the plural of yeast is geese. very few people know that.
Basically, the yeast eats all the sugars in the water, and it makes
Gatorade.
alcohol out
Alcohol.
of that.
Okay.
So you could just think about it. It's like I tell people this and then I apologize. It's like
How do
alcohol
people-
is just yeast crap.
I know that people like that's a scientific process now. Like, what was the excuse for like back in medieval times when they were like, well, ghosts go into the water and it becomes ale, and then the ghosts make you feel better when you drink it. Like, that the fact that people want to know that on your tour, like somebody made something up back in the day, like the Holy Spirit goes into the juice, and then the juice is holy, and we all get drunk.
And that's
There
why
you
they
go.
call them spirits. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
Bingo.
I would have loved to have been a tour guide back then. That would have been fun.
It's the ghost.
Have you ever been to medieval times?
No, I haven't.
You should
I've
go.
been to
Let's
the
go.
Renaissance Fair
Let's
a few
go.
times.
You and me.
Medieval time.
Yeah, it's
You know what?
expensive.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
expensive?
Yeah.
You know what? I think
It's
the
a-
winner of this should
Go to medieval times.
Yeah.
A little
Dinner on
medieval.
them.
No, I'm gonna tank. I'm just gonna tank. Are you, like he bought me
Can't
out.
take on
One
you
ticket
just
to
gotta
medieval
tell
times.
everybody
Yeah.
to stop voting for you now.
Go on,
want me-
vote.
Don't vote for me.
Unvote.
He's
No.
buying me
Medieval
Medieval
times
times.
tickets. It is really expensive, which means that like the only people at medieval times are just like snotty, bratty kids. Like, Dad, buy me a sword, jerk. Like a lot of that.
But that's the time where you just got to go all out.
I mean, that's like
And
crop
be
dusting
in it.
central, though. I mean, you're talking about all the snotty kids from the suburbs.
Uh-huh.
You just crop dust that whole place. Just let them loose. So you're saying though you have to buy your kid the swords and all the stuff when you go there? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't have kids. I wouldn't buy my kids swords.
No, you buy swords and then give them to little kids.
Oh, maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll do that. Or just like be so obnoxiously like British that I'm having a better time than these children. They're stupid. And then it's like, I'm handing out these things.
Yeah, I would
The
be
last
like-
one. It's like, you can't have this little jerk ass.
I'll eat your Cornish hen. How do you like those apples? Yes. I would like
Alien meat on it anyway.
I would like to hand out like fake gift certificates to like the snottiest kids. Oh, I happen to have this $25 gift certificate. I'm sure that sword was priced reasonably if you ask your father to purchase it. Then they take it and they don't honor it.
You've been.
Yeah,
to
I've
medieval
been.
times.
Yeah.
How many times?
Well, I have season passes, so we go about 60 times a year. No, I went when I was a kid, like once.
All right.
But it was like my friends' parents were like, they were moderately wealthy, and they took us there. And trust me, I looked at the website to price it now as an adult to see what it is.
It's like-
and like, cause I know it'd be like totally Harry Pottered out at this point, and like it's totally jumped the shark. But like, I want to go. Like
How much are we talking?
You just say
Like
medieval times
$70
jumped the shark?
Person?
yeah, why not? That's a saying.
Yeah. Arthur
How does that
Fonzarelli.
apply to medieval times? How have they
I know it's supposed to be over the top. I agree. But I'm
How
just.
do we even have a context for assuming it's over the top? You have no idea.
I saw, I've been doing my research on medieval times, and
Yeah, did you find yourself a telephone booth? And
it's
that got you
let's just say it's much more Merlin centric these days. I think you guys know where I'm getting at here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, right?
Hey, right?
We've had enough Merlin. Hey, Merlin. Merlin the Whitebeard. Why don't you pack it up,
Why's it gotta
okay?
be a white beard? Sorry.
I do remember though being like a little kid, and you're
Black beards are pirates. I get it. I get it.
that's fine. Merlin can be black, Jason. It's fine.
Whatever. I'm just saying you need to be a little more diverse in your imagination.
If he's,
You gotta call me Merle, man.
it's actually Merlin Wayans,
There you go.
right, you
Good
guys,
night.
right?
Right.
That sucks because that's gonna be a movie tomorrow. That's gonna be a movie like in 2 days.
Merlin Wayans.
Oh my gosh. I do remember though being a little kid at medieval times, and you have to eat with your hands, and like I just remember feeling bad about it. Like it's supposed to be fun for the kids to like eat with their fingers, and like
Yeah.
that's fine. But I just
like
remember the whole time being like, I've been yelled at about this for the last like 5 years of my life not eating with my hands, and
Yeah.
now you're telling me it's okay, and I'm just supposed to be fine with it? Like,
And
no.
it's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. Like, there's no napkins. Like, I'm pretty sure they had napkins still. And like, if I'm eating a Cornish hen, don't give me a paper napkin that's just gonna dissolve into my hands. Then I'm eating paper napkin with my Cornish hen. Excuse me if I don't want to eat paper napkin with my Cornish hen.
Ryan Mason was 6 years old.
I should say that I dressed like Andy Rooney and complained about everything as a 6-year-old. They give you the Cornish
You gonna
hen.
make me eat with my hands? Come on. You beat me when that happens. Andy Rooney.
I came here to cheer on my favorite knight, but now I'm all messy. That would be me.
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Favorite night.
Little kids
You did have
get
a
to
season
enjoy medieval times, though. But I think as adults, I would enjoy it more. Like,
Oh yeah, I would super good.
I would blow it out. And you can get off your face there.
Me?
You can get
Basically, what we're
real
saying is
drunk.
that We're
Yo,
gonna take a
face.
radio trip to medieval times.
I would
Yep.
like to.
I'll start pinching pennies, man.
Yeah.
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 Pinching the old shekels.
Just so
Yeah.
they know they're not dreaming.
Exactly.
That's right.
Ding. Jason Hillman won.
On fire.
One vote.
One vote, Hellman. Look, I'm not gonna feel sorry for you because I came in second in the last competition I was in, and like I still haven't lived it down.
Yeah, that's
you know.
Till Lara Bites.
And every time I say that, I have to go. And Lara Bites was very funny, deserved to win.
Yeah.
But like, I still get flack from her about it or whomever. You know. In good fun.
All in good
Let that be a lesson to you that I'm going to be very mean to you if I
All right.
win.
Just, I'll ignore every Facebook message. You don't
Oh,
have
I'm
my
calling
phone
you.
number.
I'm going to call you.
You have my number?
In the
Oh,
middle of the night.
God.
Is this Tim Higgins? Do you know what time it is? No, is it time to come in second? Ow.
Basically, you're gonna
Come on to that.
in some basement somewhere, and then he's gonna see there's gonna be a cage, and there's gonna be a mechanism attached to your head, and then he's gonna come on as like Jigsaw from Saw. Let's play a game, and it's just gonna be his set over and over, and you have to laugh or it crushes your skull.
No, he's right.
Hey,
There'll be a little bird voting for me, like a water, the water tippy bird. Eric Thorson has fans. He's a popular guy.
They're from Menominee, the UP.
Oh, the UP. All right, shout out to the
All the way down
UP.
here.
we've got radio groupies, son.
Radio groupies.
Not that they matter because you are in a deep and committed relationship.
True.
How deep is your love? She brought cookies last time Tim was here, and she didn't bring them now, so love on the rocks, right, guys?
Yeah.
It's probably the gluten
Nice.
thing. So, what else you guys want to talk about?
Let's talk
Yeah,
about
how long
dodgeball.
were you? Oh yeah, you're in dodgeball now.
I was in now I'm
You're in
I'm in a
dodgeball
fully
now.
committed relationship with dodgeball, and I was in a dodgeball tournament on Saturday, right on this very street that we're on here, Center Street, for Center Street Days. Entered a dodgeball tournament, won a dodgeball tournament.
Nice.
How's it?
Just a bunch of strangers. You're
No,
like, I'm
actually.
on your team, or
Yeah, what
you
was
were
your
the
team?
last one standing.
I played pickup baseball with a group of guys here in River West, and it was all us guys that were on this team. So, I mean, some phenomenal athletes. You're talking about a Jake Newborn, a Corey Bauman, a
Dude, I have his rookie.
a Gary Zadzikowski,
Oh, wow.
a Jim Zadzikowski
Is that
out
friend of the
there,
show?
friend of the show.
Oh man, I wish I could have participated in that.
Gary was full throttle,
Yeah.
full throttle,
Yeah.
and he was. I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it on the air. Gary was drunk at dodgeball, and they were like, they got there and they're like, "Well, let's get a 30 pack, or what should we get like for these 5-minute games?" They like polished off like an 18 pack. The rest of the team. I was not drinking because I'm better,
Professional.
better than that, you know.
Basically,
But you won, that's
beat
awesome.
them.
Yeah, we won. We won a half barrel at Uptowner.
Yeah,
So that was the
Nice.
prize. So shout out to Uptowner. Go to Uptowner, hang out there. It's a cool place.
By Uptowner on Center Street Days, they had a stage with this music going on, and then they brought the pool tables outside. So like,
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Shooting pool in the middle of the road. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Gambling in the streets.
Yep.
I was like, it was okay. So dodgeball is crazy. Like it's a kids game and it's supposed to be fun, but there were like grown men just being like beside themselves with competition and like cheating, outright cheating, like getting hit by a ball and then doing the little like look around and be like, anybody see me get hit? Like lying, just lying.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like
It was intense. People tried super hard. Were really into
Super
it.
wish I could have seen that. Dodgeball was my jam when I was younger. I was a fat kid.
Yeah.
So I was majestic on a dodgeball court, and then no one ever saw it coming because they saw me coming, but they couldn't hit me. So I wish I could have
Well,
competed against.
next year, I think. Well, I'm gonna
Is there a dodgeball like
league.
Yeah, let's.
I don't know. Maybe. Well, next year we'll have to compete in it. You guys will have to compete as COK or whatever. You know, I'm gonna be along with the reigning champions. The what was the Milwaukee Dodgers? That was our team name.
How many was there?
How many people? You could have up to 10.
How many did you have?
We had 10. We wanted
How
10.
many teams were there?
Because you could have 10 on the court
many
at one
balls?
time. Endless amounts of balls. There's balls everywhere.
Everywhere?
They were really difficult to throw. You'd think that throwing a dodgeball would be easy.
Were they pretty well
Was it
inflated then?
They were well inflated, yes. Thank you for asking. They were pumped to regulation inflation.
Oh yeah, that's hard to grip sometimes.
And
Get sweaty.
Yeah.
and they were like plastic. Like they weren't even like
Oh,
the
what?
like so you would like get hit with one, you'd be like, oh. One team had like a little kid too.
Yeah.
Whose parents signed his release form. The release forms they were like, you accept all risks up to and including death.
Wow.
Yep.
What?
That's a little
Death?
expensive.
And only like 2 people died.
One guy has a cannon.
I figure it's for like
An old
some.
man looking for hash browns.
Yeah, maybe somebody like who would get a heart attack or something. Probably, maybe that would be what it, you know. But like dodgeball was crazy, and I challenge everybody out there to go play dodgeball. Tweet us your dodgeball stories at Cast of Killers #Killer Radio.
Yeah,
Do you have a dodgeball story, Tim?
In grade school and middle school, I never really thrived at the sports, but every sport, like every section, I would have one day where I just like be king of everything. It's like I think I passed myself a touchdown pass in a playing a game of football once.
Nice.
And
Every kid has
but
to have
every
that
other
day, right?
Every other day, it's like, let's just crap on Higgins.
Crap on
I
it.
had that in
It's definitely-
basketball.
Get 'em.
I was at St. Joe's. I was on the team. I was just the big guy on the team, and I was supposed to, crash the boards and stuff.
Yeah.
I had one day where I scored like 40 points, just dominated everywhere I was shooting from. I was making it. It was like the most victorious, glorious day of my young, deformative years. And then every other game, I was terrible.
No. Dodgeball always never a winner. My team would win, but I'd be on the sides. Going.
You'd be like icing down and be like, how do we do, guys?
I want dodgeball hard. I want to play that.
When I was a senior, I had a third year of Spanish, and I decided I dropped Spanish the second half of my senior year, and picked up what me and 2 of my friends called senior gym, where we were seniors and we got into like a sophomore gym class and just like dominated everybody.
That's awful.
Yeah, that's pretty.
My dodgeball story would be like in second or third grade. I still remember this. Second or third grade, they were letting us play dodgeball. And like when you're a second or third grader, you have no business playing dodgeball. Like there's going to be a few kids who are physically developed and good at it, and then there's going to be like 6 or 7 kids who are just not, they shouldn't be playing. Like they're not physically capable in that sense. I was somewhere on that end, like the not quite, like I was a little kid, and I remember I threw a ball and a ball was coming at me, so I kicked it. I kicked the ball, which you're out, and the ball flew through the air and hit a girl right in the face, breaking her nose and her glasses.
Nice.
And now she's a lesbian. So
Probably asking for it.
coincidence? I don't know. It's hard to say.
One big ball to the face.
No, I felt terrible.
Vicious ball to the face.
And, like-
breaks a nose.
And they like stopped. They stopped Jim. They were like, "Whoa, everybody stop! Like Jim's over."
She tried to
Okay.
be straight, but every time she took someone's pants off, she'd cry.
Saw that big yellow ball coming right at her. Broke her nose almost. I don't know if it broke it. I just know there was blood everywhere.
Oh my god.
And I slunk away to act like it wasn't me. And they didn't like say who it was. Like they didn't know who it was. Because I mean, balls were flying, you guys. It was war. It was war out there. I have another dodgeball story. When I was in elementary school, like first grade, we were at the older school in our small town, and they had a cement wall, and that's where you played dodgeball. So these kids would be like up against a wall, like a firing range.
Oh, okay.
And then they would just have two people firing the balls at the wall. Well, inevitably, one kid gets hit in the head and smacks his head on the wall behind him and passes out. Like, just passes out. And it was like some fat kid, but like that could have happened to anybody. It just happened to be the fat kid. And like, we called him Jason. No, I'm just kidding. But like, he passes out like in the schoolyard, and then the teacher's aides come over and they're like, "What happened? What are you guys doing?" You know, and they're like, "You shouldn't be throwing balls like at this wall, these people right by it, you know, somebody could get hurt," and like this kid did. And all I could think is like, yeah, we totally shouldn't be doing this. We're first graders. Like, you're in charge of us. Yeah. You know, like, it is your job to make sure we don't do this, not after the fact. So get it together, teacher's aides from 1992.
Yeah.
Right?
92.
All right, we got a tweet.
Oh, okay.
Debbie Lynn Mason tweets in.
She got a dodgeball story?
She says, "Ryan, how about the South versus Dixie show we went to on vacation?" I don't know what that means, but elaborate.
I don't know what that means. Well, we did go to...
Probably the South, another themed restaurant or...
We went to...
10 minutes ago, so maybe that was medieval times.
We went to Dollywood when I was a little kid, which is the theme park by Dolly Parton.
Oh, yeah.
So, like...
Big 9 to 5 fan.
Yeah. I was. I love Dolly Parton. A Coat of Many Colors, Tim. I mean, you know as well as I do. Me and Little Andy, right? These are all songs by Dolly Parton.
Shut up.
But in like,
how do you feel?
In rural Tennessee, there was like a South versus Dixie like Civil War reenactment thing going on.
All right.
And I want to say that the South won in that one, but I'm not really sure. I'm not 100% sure.
That's cool.
No, it isn't. Shut up.
Thanks for the tweet, Debbie.
Well, Tim, thanks for coming on. Let's take a little break too. It's hot
thanks
here.
for having me. This is fun.
Yeah.
And go out and vote for. Go listen to the clips and vote, because if you're listening to this show, you get to hear both of us be funny, and if you listen to those clips, you get to see those be funny. And Tim Higgins is a super talented and hilarious person, and if I lose, I would love to lose to you.
You know what? Likewise. Likewise. And you said, unless it's an accident, we should try not to kiss.
That is what I said.
Well,
who knows?
I'm just gonna have to sucker kiss you.
These
Turn you around and just plant one and mwah! You'll be like,
Well, thank you, Tim Higgins. We're gonna play you out with a little bit of music. Come to the show on the 20th.
The 20th. 9
at the
p.m.
Comedy Sports. Oh, don't play a song by somebody that we don't have the rights to.
Comedy Sports Garage.
Yeah.
Let's play a song by...
First Street.
Yep.
This song is called Never Coming Back. It's by the Blue Ribbon Band.
All right.
Sleep be gone. You'll be gone too. When they say deliver me from evil, I'm gonna think of you. You got something that she wants. You ain't never gonna get it back. She's a devil woman.
We don't have the rights to that song, so we're not going to play it. We're back with the Killer Radio Show on riverwestradio.com. We got Jason back on the mic, too, which is
What? Oh my god, that's so important.
exciting stuff. Welcome back. Coming to you guys live every Tuesday at 8 to 10. We're the radio arm of the Cast of Killers. Find us at cokkcomedy.com. I'm Ryan Mason with Eric Thorson and Jason Hellman.
Hello.
Hello.
Tweet your questions to us at Cast of Killers, hashtag Killer Radio.
Or you can call in.
You can call in at 414-935-2951.
Yeah. We're talking about Center Street days. We had riverwestradio.com had the teepee from the Occupy River West movement from Locust Street. They had the teepee out here, so we broadcasted all day. And Ed Nugent, friend of the show, and I, we did an hour there from 4 to 5 on Saturday. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, what were you up to this weekend, Jason?
I went to Chicago.
Oh, and you did a show too.
No.
Well, we'll talk about that as well.
Actually, I went and saw Amanto Bin.
Oh, that's
at
right.
Congress Theater on Saturday night. This
Is me glossing over you. Sorry, Eric.
That's it. Nothing else happened.
Well, let's talk about that, and then you can tell us about the show. That sounds really exciting.
Eric, continue.
I'm sorry, I totally glossed over that. What was it like doing radio in a teepee?
It was weird because there was like
Yep.
it was a huge festival right on Center Street days, but it was a teepee, so you couldn't see outside and nobody could see inside.
That's the thing with teepees, no windows.
Yeah, no windows, only one door.
How did the Indians survive?
And it was
Buffalo.
We interviewed a ton of like
White people.
kids, like a ton of kids.
Wow.
would come
Casinos?
A ton of kids would come in, and we would interview them and stuff. And this
That's
one girl
cool.
had her own YouTube page, and she was talking about her YouTube page, and she was like 5. She's like, I hate Justin Bieber. It was like, really a lot of fun.
She's like, I'm more successful on social media than you are, and you're a comic.
Yeah.
What's the story? Just busting your chops the whole time. How come you don't tweet enough? What happened to River West Rabbit?
I follow you. Why don't you follow me? Like,
Yeah.
Because it's illegal.
She's like, I've got
That's why
2 million followers. How many do you have, chump?
and his name was William, and he was walking around in just underwear and a bathrobe because he was in the dunk tank.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in and chatted up with us.
Cool.
That
Right
sounds
on.
really exciting.
Yeah. It was
And I heard you talk to a dodgeball champion.
Yep. And then somebody who was in a dodgeball thing stopped in and said, "Hey, for a minute."
That's right. He did.
Yep.
Champion.
Probably wasn't very interesting. He probably didn't have a lot to say. He's
Babbled
probably
on. Yeah.
just
Cut people
better at
off.
dodgeball than he is at talking.
Well, that goes without saying, you guys. I'm
Then
great
why are
at
you saying
dodgeball.
it? Then why are you saying it?
I there was one match where I got out like right away, but the rest of the matches, and I know people want to know, I stayed in it. I don't think I caught a ball. Catching a ball is much harder than you'd think, but really it's like that's like the you need to catch balls. So Amanto Bin. What is Amanto Bin?
He's a DJ out of Brazil. He's been rocking around for about 20 years now. He's probably one of the most progressive and dynamic DJs working today. And he solved the problem. Whenever you go to a DJ show, it's just a guy with some decks, and you just dance around and you have a good time. This guy actually produced this geometric stage setup that while he's playing the music, he's got a DJ booth inside of the structure. They project all of these images while he's playing the music, so it's like watching an art project. It was phenomenal. It was it blew my mind. It was
What were they projecting on the screens though?
it ranged from it made it look like the actual structure itself was moving. So there was like pistons for a little while, and then it turned into like the space scene with a spaceship.
So it was like the Olympic opening ceremony.
Yes, I wouldn't know what you're talking about, but yeah, there was a lot of smokestacks and poor people. No, it was a really good show.
love
It was weird
smokestacks
because
and
they
poor
took all the seats out. I've been to the Congress Theater before to see Tori Amos, which I missed 90 minutes of. Screw you! It was amazing. The 10 minutes of it I caught.
I'm
because I
not
passed
laughing
out
at
due to
that.
Xanax.
Okay. You and Tori Amos.
Yeah. And then, but all the seats were gone this time. I kind of wish I could have sat down and watched it because it was that kind of show.
Did you catch a light sneeze? Is that a Tori Amos joke?
Yeah, that's a Tori Amos joke. Yeah. I needed a sweater because I was cold in my hole.
Okay, now you go, Eric.
No, it was a great show. It was weird because the people I went with Eric Meyer, actually the guy that set up the Slutwalk show last year for us. He also set up the show that Laura was in in Madison.
He set up a show for me and Laura for Alberta Darling.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember
So I
that.
went-
Good guy.
Yeah,
I remember
so-
that show. That was like when I first started doing comedy and first like met you guys, was the Alberta Darling thing.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I remember Eric writing jokes about Alberta Darling and about Scott Walker at the time, so before he was elected as our governor.
Yeah.
And it was funny that Eric was like bouncing jokes off me, like when we were there. Like when we were there, you're like, what about this? You think this is, what do you think? I was like, I don't know. Like, I just started doing comedy, and like, you're asking me, and you're on in 5 minutes, and like, I don't know, and like,
You're on stage, Eric. What are you doing? Why are you asking me this?
Yeah.
but I was like, oh, I guess you can change your material whenever you want.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Follow my lead. I'm doing-
Follow the leader, guys.
If you get a chance, I'm gonna just completely gloss over what you just said. Check out Amanto Bin, ISAM on YouTube. It's amazing.
Awesome, man.
It was $26. It was completely worth it. The people I was with left though because you couldn't. It was like the rave when you couldn't leave and come back in. So they left
Yeah.
to have a cigarette
And then never
at like
came
the
back.
45-minute mark. So it was just basically me by myself there. It was fun. It was a good time.
Cool.
Definitely worth the money. It's worth way more than I paid for it. So
It sounds like a very exclusive kind of thing, because like I've never seen that person's name before, and like
it's not so much exclusive. He's kind of an underground guy because he doesn't really play a lot of typical like trancey, or he doesn't play typical music. He's kind of
Does his own thing.
I'm gonna.
you're nerd bonering out on DJ
I was gonna
music.
say avant-garde, but then my balls kind of clenched
You can
up when I
say
said
avant-garde. Why can't you say avant-garde?
because it seems like a pretentious way to describe it.
But like music can be pretentious and it can still be good. Like it's fine.
Oh, thank you for legitimizing my pretension.
People get up in arms about like, oh, this description of music is going to be pretentious. But like sometimes those are the right words to use. You know what I mean? Like anytime
I feel you, bro.
Anytime you're describing music to somebody else, you're pretentious. Like there's no way around it. Unless you're like, well, the new Bo Cephas album, that song, that ain't right. I like it. Like that's not pretentious. But when you're saying to somebody that like, I like this thing that other people don't like, that is what being pretentious is. You know what I mean? So with music, it's inherently going to be like that. So you don't have to feel bad about it.
All right, well I won't feel bad about it. His music's fucking avant-garde.
You like his music. That's
Yeah,
cool.
It's very good. It was a very good show. It's worth just watching it on YouTube is mesmerizing enough.
Cool.
So check it out.
Sit in your basement.
I'm
watch
on
YouTube.
Tweet.
Laura had a really good set at the Alberta Darling thing. At
Yeah, she
Green Lions
did.
Pub. And I just thought that like
She should do more political stuff.
Yeah.
Because she's good at it.
yeah, she is.
But I think a lot of her stage jokes are very silly and very funny. I'd like to see her do more political stuff. Just to see what she would say.
But Alberta Darling ended up winning that recall election, and then I had a lot of Scott Walker jokes, and he ended up winning. So maybe like I'm the reason why. both
It's
of them-
possible, yeah.
It's like, well, I was gonna vote this way, but that comedian sure stunk.
Boy.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote whoever.
4 more years of that. Wow. I'm trying not to think about that time before Scott Walker was in office. So, speaking of political uprisings, the Chicago Public Teachers Union,
Yeah.
CPS, Chicago Public Schools is on strike right now. Have you guys been following that in the news at all?
I haven't been actually. I just picked up on what's been going on with that.
Well,
somebody
I can give you some
told me.
background. We can talk about it a little
All
bit
right.
because I've been following it. My mom was a teacher and, supported the folks who were protesting in Madison. My dad, as a Republican, was not supporting them, so that was a lot of fun for me. But the Chicago Public Schools, highest paid teachers in the nation. So that's the first thing to think about. So the average wage for the teachers in CPS is about $75,000, and you can think about that number and say like that's a lot of coin. But at the same time, starting wage is around $40,000 for somebody living in the city of Chicago teaching public. If you factor in cost of living though in Chicago, it's not as high as you would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you were living on $40,000 in the city of Chicago, I would probably equate that to living in the city of Milwaukee on, $27,000 to $30,000.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about a teacher in a classroom at a Chicago public school, I would think that that's pretty fair, in my opinion. I mean, you could have a different opinion.
Well, I mean, I guess I just think about how much the average salary for a public teacher is in Milwaukee and in Wisconsin. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
What exactly are their demands? What's the purpose?
Well,
for
the reason for the first one is job security. They think that with some of the tactics that the city is making, that it's going to make it easier to fire older teachers, tenured teachers.
Well, is that based on performance or is that based merely?
Well,
on
they're basing it
seniority?
on they're basing it on performance, but what the city and what a lot of the nation is doing is basing teacher performance based on test scores, which can be difficult, which can cause some issues with teachers doing things that they wouldn't otherwise do.
allowing their students to cheat. Yeah,
Yeah,
pushing them through so they don't.
and then then
Right.
you just get taught the things that'll make you pass the test. Not
Yeah.
right,
necessarily what-
right. That's what the argument is. The other,
Standardized testing is not a good way to measure the success of a school.
Yeah.
It's a good way to measure how well you are at gaming the system.
and I think there's a place for standardized testing. I just don't know if you should tie money to it in the way that they are setting it up. I only say that because every teacher that I've ever talked to has told me that. As an outside person, I would say, well, shouldn't we always tie it to test scores? But every teacher I've ever talked to has been like, no, absolutely not, because then you are just teaching to the test, and that's like
Yeah.
that's like a catchphrase like of teachers. Like, we don't want to teach to the test. We want to teach to the learning experience of specific students who may not learn that way. We want to teach
Exactly.
materials that aren't being fed to us by like a district or whatever.
Yeah.
So the other demand that the teachers union has is they were offered a raise. They were offered a 16% raise over 4 years, and so that was interesting too. I read that on Slate.com that that was one of the things that they were offered and turned down. But
Why turn it down?
because the rate of inflation over 4 years is going to be about 4%. So it's not an actual raise over inflation. So that means that the amount that they're being paid is, if it didn't cover inflation, it's actually a decrease in the amount that they would be earning, because cost of everything's going to go up, but you're earning the same amount.
Yeah.
But so
And they hope they wouldn't do their research is basically when they made that offer.
I think they put it as close to the rate of inflation as they possibly could, instead of saying, well, we're going to reward these teachers who have been in the district and teaching with an increase, like an actual increase.
How does Chicago perform on those tests?
Poorly, worse than the nation.
So what the teachers are demanding is job security, even if they're not doing their job.
If it's measured
that's a
if
weird
it's
gray
measured
area.
by those
Yeah.
the current measures, yeah.
And tenure for teachers is a weird thing too, because you can be a teacher and have tenure, and you could be a bad teacher, but because of the rules of the tenure, sometimes you literally can't get fired almost.
I think that's more of an issue with colleges, though.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that tenured professors are but those institutions, that's a whole different ballgame. You can fire a public school teacher if you want to. They might have grounds to sue you to keep their pension, yeah, but that they have to go through that whole rigmarole. Tenure is more of a phenomenon in the higher ed system, in my opinion.
I would actually like someone to actually explain how I think there's a lot of tenured people, teachers in high schools, people who have been around for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean,
25 to
it's
30 years, that
unspoken.
they're not going to get rid of them even if they are terrible. And I think after a long time, especially dealing with what teachers have to deal with these days, a teacher will just go through the motions to get through the day.
Yeah, like
without
complacent.
actually, they've already decided that they're not going to teach these kids to the best of their ability because the best of their ability faded out long ago.
Yeah.
So they're just people that show up to work, and we need more people, young, bright-eyed, possibly naive, but young, bright-eyed people that are in there trying to actually teach our kids.
You know what'll get those young, bright-eyed people in there? Huge increases in the amount of money that they would earn.
Yeah. A little
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you want people who are super motivated, put some money on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
The thing is like a lot of these kids, a lot of these people are motivated to get into teaching not for the money, and that's the other side of it. Is that I think a
you should
lot
get
of
rid of
teachers
that.
just like.
I personally
teaching.
think you should get rid of that.
Yeah, you should. You
should like teaching, but like you should also like money. Like,
If you're responsible for, you're literally responsible for the future of this country. Yeah, you should be rewarded accordingly.
It should be more
Unfortunately, over the
competitive.
last like 10 years or so,
More competitive.
yeah.
I know that there are a lot, like, you get tons of applications for teaching jobs because lots of kids go to school for that. Mm-hmm. But also, they're not going to school for that to make money. So all the people that are going into that have that same sort of idea. They have an idea of what teaching is, and then maybe they get into the position it's not that, and that complacency comes in. But like, why not make it a really high-paying job, and then you're gonna get the people who are like otherwise
But where
might
are
go
we
into
going to
business.
find money to fund wars? We can't just pay teachers more and not produce as many guns or
Well,
tanks. Are you out of your mind?
You might
Ryan?
like the other piece is like the
When
the-
these kids don't get an education, they're right there to defend freedom.
That's
and
right.
You're disregarding that wholeheartedly with this mumbo jumbo about a utopian society where we're teaching children is our priority, and it's not. That's the
Yes.
problem. Teaching children needs to be our priority.
Yeah,
An
I agree.
educated workforce, a skilled workforce that can do more than just pick up a gun and follow orders. That's what we're looking for, and we're not rewarding anybody, and we're not making it priority.
Oh yeah, I think that anybody who wants to go in the armed forces can do whatever they want. I mean, we need those people too.
But there are more kids. If you go to school,
I don't
and you're
think
not-
that the military-industrial complex leads all the way down to the education. And people would disagree with me.
I would disagree with you wholeheartedly. I think a lack of education leads to more cannon fodder.
Possibly, sure, yeah.
Well, if you have
If
nothing
you're
else
dumb,
to
you like
do-
to fight, right?
if you have no education, if you have no skills, and you have no money, but you've started a family irresponsibly, which is what
Yeah, it makes sense for you to go in the
people
army.
do. Yeah.
But not to not like Eric's. Wasn't your parents in the army or no?
Yeah, my dad was in the Navy for 20 years.
But like
And my mom was a teacher.
but your dad didn't go into the Navy because he was unskilled.
Right.
what-
No, he probably
you know,
just. Back then, though, it was a different game.
But it made sense for his dad to go support his family.
He didn't go to college,
Yeah.
so
But it wasn't that he was uneducated. He had a
Yeah.
high school.
He had a high school diploma. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think people go in for
I think
different
it's
reasons.
a good thing for a lot of people who just barely graduated high school and don't have a job or any kind of set skills. Like it really he got into it because he traveled the world. He went to like Australia and Japan and just like Sri Lanka and just tons of really crazy places and rode a aircraft carrier and got to shoot guns and
Pretty sweet.
yeah,
Shout out to your dad on 9/11. Shout out to Eric's dad.
that's right.
I think I get where you're coming from, though. I've heard that argument before, Jason. It's not without some merit.
No,
Like
the thing is,
obviously,
I'm making it's a vast generalization. Not everybody that goes into the armed forces obviously is just a grunt. who
now
has nothing
Gary's
better to
brother's
do.
gonna get all over your Facebook. So you guys having a political argument
Yeah,
on
I saw
that.
that too.
You know, the thing is about that, and I want to address this. This is one of the reasons I got off of Facebook, is because I made a random comment on here about my political viewpoint, which is that after voting for a decade, hopefully over and over and over again, and seeing nothing change, in fact, watching things
That
get
you got
worse,
out.
I just I've kind of realized I was being used. That's how I started feeling about it. And I made that random comment, and he friended me on Facebook. Didn't bring it up on the radio, but friended me on Facebook, and then publicly tried to shame me. And that's the kind of disgusting tactic that the people that he's supposedly against utilize on a regular basis. And telling me that you have the right to mock me because I don't share your ideology is just as bad as the people you associate me with, and you say that I align myself with. That's some bull poop. You know what I mean? Like, you're a vicious hypocrite.
You know,
You think
from the
because-
other side of it, I would say that like you know, you have the ability to stop the argument, which you did, and like that's fine. If you want to reignite it on the airwaves, I don't care
I
either.
don't think he was really like shaming you. I think he was just trying to like start a debate.
That's not a debate. When you attack me personally without even giving me a chance to respond, that's not a debate. That's what zealots do. Zealots attack you and then expect you to come back at them eloquently. What he did was come at me aggressively and then trying to bait me into an aggressive response to therefore start an aggressive debate. That's not the kind of conversation I want to get into. That's disrespectful.
But you would have that conversation if it wasn't aggressive. You're saying though.
I would have an honest debate with you about it instead of you trying to call me out on Facebook.
That's fine. That's
Yeah,
fair.
That's my point. Like I'm
comfortable with
open
that.
to have any conversation with anybody.
I think
about anything.
I think with the topic that you're talking about voting, like
Yeah.
the fact that you don't vote. I think that some people believe that it is so important that you know by any means necessary, and I don't agree with that. So
I appreciate that viewpoint, though. What I don't want.
we're not supposed to talk political stuff.
I just don't want you guys to get in a fight or anything.
Oh no, we're
not
fine.
fighting
We're
at
not.
all.
We're fine. This is about somebody else. We're not.
I'm not upset. I just like.
You look upset.
Like,
Oh, we should say. Well, you know what? We'll drop this argument and we'll have this
Okay.
off the air.
Yeah.
Extempo Radio was a radio show that was on here yesterday, and Nick is
Okay.
pointing out that there was some
Aggressiveness.
So there was some aggressiveness that came out there that was a bit untoward for the not just the station but for the place that we record out of, and
Yeah.
we hope that any conversations that we have on the air, you guys know that Jason and I are pals, and Eric and I are pals, and that's why it's
and
nice.
Jason, though.
That's why it's nice to like
I'm
have
actually, I
have
actually,
a conversation with you two guys, because Eric comes from a totally different background than I do, and Jason comes from a totally different background than I do, and it allows us to have some of these conversations that maybe you're having, maybe other people aren't having. Like at least we can come here and civilly have some civil discourse.
I'm just explaining my position on it. The fact is,
No, that's fine.
I like Gary's brother. Jim, right?
Yeah.
I like Jim. He's very passionate about what
He's on last week.
he believes
Yeah,
in.
DIY.
I didn't appreciate the tactic that he used to try and bring up the conversation with me. That's all.
Okay.
That's
You want to have
fine.
a random conversation with? Let's do some shots and talk politics. But like, don't get on my Facebook. That's just rude.
That's fine. All right, we'll leave it at that. Eric, tell us something about a teepee to change the subject.
We had to be clean for that thing because it was, there was speakers and everything. And so I was reminding all the little kids not to swear. But then this one drunk guy comes in, and Ed was like, and you didn't tell him not to swear. Like, I didn't tell the drunk guy who's stumbling around with gin and tonic not to swear, but I told the little kids to, like 6-year-olds, like, hey guys, easy on the potty mouth, okay?
We should say that's kind of part of why Extempo Radio got themselves into some hot water
Yeah.
was with the language, and they admitted that.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, actually, Brendan O'Day and
As
Jeff
much.
Lampton. I have no idea
And-
what
and he-
happened there. But that's a great radio program. So I don't know what led to that. I didn't get to listen to it.
Well, we'll just let people listen for themselves and make their distinctions. But I know that this radio station brings something unique to everybody, and we want to stay on the air, and we want to stay a part of this radio station. So make sure you keep supporting us, support the radio station, and if there is anything that grinds your gears, make sure you let us know, and we'll fix it.
And speaking of supporting the station, we should say that they're having their benefit show September 28th on Friday at Linneman's. So if you want to come out and support the
Yes,
station,
September 28th.
that is how you do it.
What day is that?
Friday.
Okay.
It's the same night as Sherman Perk, but I'm going to try to
Okay.
do both.
I gotta remember that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do we have any last tweets? Anything that's been sent in? Or
I actually want to throw a shout out. On Friday night, I hosted a fundraiser for Slut Walk.
okay.
That's a thing. Speaking
is
of
a
Sherman
thing.
Perk, they're going to be doing that in about 2 weeks. I think they're going to be having a meeting there, if not sooner. That was a thing. Chastity Washington and Christina Wright did that.
Awesome. Right on.
At the public house.
And it's for it's to support victims of domestic abuse. Am I right?
It's a movement that began out of a comment that a police chief in Canada stated, basically, if you don't want to get raped, don't dress like a slut. And obviously, women got very upset about that, so they formed a movement. You march dressed like a atypical that's slut.
The cliche.
Yeah, you dress like the stereotype, and you march around and you yell a lot, and yeah, that's
Right on. Well, that seems like a good cause.
Yeah.
And I want to say before we get off the air too that I at the BBC, the Milwaukee Stand-Up Showcase thing for the BBC for 88.9, that my round is this Friday. So
Yeah.
if you want to come out and
make sure you get out there and vote for me, and make sure you go to the show on Friday to vote for Eric.
Yeah.
All right, we'll get out of here before Jason and I come to fisticuffs.
Yes, fisticuffs.
Let's play off with something really like relaxing. So this is Often the Thinker, and this song is called Spring Buzz. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
And we will be back next week.
Yes.
Say you won't.